What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what is really moving it, and the key levels you really want to watch for SoundHound to hold. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. SoundHound's down 4.65%, 901 the low, 938 the high, and you're seeing very low volume. So 18.5 million shares being traded, 33.7 is the average. Starting off with macro data points, we did have Michigan consumer sentiment coming out better than anticipated. So in a normal circumstance, this would have actually really moved the market up higher. Unfortunately, it does dampen the likelihood of a Fed cut. So for the September 17th meeting, it went from like 59 to now 55.7. Still a good likelihood of that occurring, 25 basis point cut, of course, but still market is getting dragged down because of the whole situation occurring between Israel and Iran. And the market actually started to move up a little bit because they didn't believe that Iran was going to attack Israel, even though they kind of stated 17, 18 times that they were going to retaliate. But turns out what's prompting all of this was this right here. So Iranian attack on central Israel coming. So yeah, I think unfortunately we are kind of shot for at least the rest of the day, unfortunately. So happy Friday the 13th everyone. Specific to SoundHound though, there isn't any news, and I think that's been kind of my biggest issue with them, is that they haven't really been appealing to shareholders. So as far as the next big catalyst, honestly, it might be their next earnings. But there was a Form 4 that did come out after hours yesterday, after I did my video. And it was this, who is the VP of Engineering, did sell. So you can kind of see right here, the transaction code S, 132,000 shares at a price of $10.04. And it was planned, as you can kind of see based on the footnote point number 1, but it wasn't for tax purposes, and you can kind of tell that as well based on the transaction code. It was S, not F. F is for tax purposes. So it is what it is. It's been a very long time since we've had Form 4s of entities and insiders selling. That was initially my biggest issue when I started to cover SoundHound. You had everyone selling it. It kind of ran up to $8, $9, and man, it looked as though like everyone just had a fire sale and just wanted to dump their shares. It was very crazy to see, but nonetheless, this one-off might not be anything crazy. People need money for personal expenses and whatever else. They still do have 537,000 shares available, so something to keep in mind. Aside from all of that, though, you do have shorts increasing slightly, 28,000 shares, nothing overly too much, but 32.89% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 120 million shares overall are being shorted. So shorts are still increasing ever since the low on, looks like May the 19th. So it is crazy. If it does continue on this trajectory, then we are going to see all-time highs for the short interest next week. So that would be crazy. And unfortunately, the whole Iran-Israel type of scenario isn't going to help the market, unfortunately. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Moving on to options, 1.75 million in calls, 1.1 in puts, 42% of all the options being done are optimistic in nature. So that is generally good to see. As far as how it kind of stacks to the last couple trading days, it's been crappy. And so you can kind of see just not much money is getting into SoundHound through options. And today does mark the 5th consecutive red day for the stock, and it's actually having more and more of those consecutive days. If you believe in history repeating itself, usually 5 days is that kind of pivot. Then the following day you have a green day, so maybe that might mean Monday is green. I have no idea. Again, that's if you believe in that type of stuff. But yeah, this definitely goes to show that institutions need something with SoundHound, as I mentioned and I kind of vented yesterday in the video. But from the bulls, you do see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $10 range. So optimism is slowly diminishing. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub $9. And so with us pretty much at $9 now, does mean that there is a little bit more upside. These are all the transactions that are occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So you do see pockets of buying. So at least big money is somewhat paying attention to it more today than what they have been. So that's kind of a positive. But dark pool transactions, transactions. You do see, unfortunately, a lot of transactions, and most of that is probably linked to shorting, I would say. But aside from that, with it at 903, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 898 is going to be that strong support, and then 1049 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So that 898 is going to be that key point to really watch for it to hold in the next hour and a half of the trading day. But aside from that, though, there isn't really anything, no news, no kind of new analyst ratings. So like I said in my video yesterday, it is merely just piggybacking off the broader market and becoming very, very speculative. So aside from that, though, today it did break below that 50-day moving average, which is at 939. That was going to be a big deal. Typically, for a trend to kind of solidify, you need it to be below or above it for 2 consecutive days. So Monday is going to be a very, very big deal for it to get above that 939. If not, then you will most likely see at least that 850 going back over here for a second. So most likely you'll see anywhere from that 898 to that $8 range being hit. So things could move very fast for SoundHound. So if you believe in it, bigger picture, then it might be another good buying opportunity. But I do see, based on the comments in my videos and just what I see online on social media, people are getting very frustrated with SoundHound. And honestly, I do agree with everyone out there, because management, I think SoundHound moved up because of merely their business model, their sector that they are in. So they were building based on the hype, nothing really to do with the company itself. Even essentially McDonald's, we've seen a lot of things to kind of insinuate that there is a McDonald's deal from Europe coming. Just, we have not heard anything. And during the last couple of earnings, they really focused on a utility company, and that's based on, I think they put out a news PR like a month ago about that utility company, but they honestly have not really stated anything for McDonald's. Like, that would be huge for SoundHound. So I feel like just management is really dropping the ball. So I think there needs to be something that does happen before SoundHound really does start to see any substantial gains again in the foreseeable future. That's just my 2 cents. I could be completely wrong and off topic or whatever. So let me know your viewpoint. Are you buying more with SoundHound? Are you locking in profits? Are you selling? What's your general thoughts on SoundHound? Like I said, on the technical standpoint, it does show signs of breaking down, potentially pulling back to kind of the $8 range. Is that where you would be a buyer? So let me know your viewpoint on all that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. If you are looking for some solid buying opportunities and signals, pop over to my Patreon to give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Every trading day, even on the weekends, go over crypto. Many of them been absolutely on point. And despite the crap that's happening today, I actually just had one that hit a 2x today. That was a signal. I believe it was early this week. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.